All right. So I promise you something special. Catherine Brown is a dear friend of mine, quite literally from childbirth. She is a diamond in doTERRA. She has started doing the business about a year before I did, and she's one of the few people that I know who got involved in the business for the sake of the business. She researched essential oils, but she researched the business side as much or more so, and it is the business side that got her interested and involved. She is a diamond, as I said, but she also has 6 diamonds on her team, one of whom is a blue diamond, 7 platinums, 13 golds, and 45 silvers. So leadership development is something that she is amazing about. And I can tell you that from spending the past 30 plus years of my life with her. She naturally inclines to the leadership role and leads people wherever she is in whatever capacity she is in. And so she very graciously agreed to join our call and talk about some things that are important on her radar as far as building a successful team with other great leaders. And so without any other further ado, Ms. Brown, I would love to turn it over to you.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome. I'm not super good with technology, so that's big.
You're in the right space. We're all learning too.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to meet your team and see some faces. And I'm flipping through the screen right now, looking at all of you so I can see who I'm talking to. I actually have you guys on my phone because I want to speak from my notes that are on my computer. So anyway, yeah, Maribeth, thanks for having me. This is a real treat. So I am going to speak a little bit about finding builders by being a good leader. So hopefully there'll be a little bit of practical stuff here for you guys, as well as maybe some concepts or some ideas for you to sit with and maybe process or journal through or whatnot. I have 5 points. They're not necessarily on each other. They're just kind of 5 different things that came to mind regarding this topic. The first one is just some practical stuff on how to identify builders. I guess the first thing to think about is think back when you first decided that you wanted to build a doTERRA business. Did you know when you enrolled that you wanted to do this? For most people, the answer is no. For most of us, this was a process. Some of us resisted the process. Some of us realized that we were doing it before we'd really made a decision. But very few people join doTERRA knowing that they want to do it as a business. And I think that's important to think about, because once we're in, we're all in, right? We have our goals. We know what we need. We need our 3 to 5 builders. You know, we need to fill these spots to hit gold. And so we have this mindset of, I'm going to find builders. But almost nobody comes to us as a builder. Almost everybody comes to us the same way you came into the company. And that's as a person with a felt need, looking for a solution to a problem. And as you found more and more solutions, you probably realized you had something pretty special that you wanted to share. And someone was able to nurture that out of you and to cultivate that out of you so that you could see the opportunity that goes with that desire to share something. Because most we see something amazing that we want to share, we don't think about how to make money off of it or how to capitalize on it. We just share because it's this good thing. So what you want to do in terms of identifying future builders is you want to notice who those people are. They're just sharing because they have something worth sharing. They're talking about it all the time. These are going to be your super active people in your Facebook groups. These are going to be the people that can't stop ordering, that want to know, like, if they can place a second LRP order in 1 month. They're going to be those people. Almost nobody is ordering 400 PV worth of oils for themselves. I mean, most people aren't ordering half that for themselves consistently, unless they're ordering like double packs of LLV or whatnot. So notice those high volume orders, and notice what's on those orders, and follow up and say, hey, how'd you like that cypress? I noticed you ordered last month. So if you see them ordering something new that maybe you haven't had a conversation with them about, follow up. How'd you like the geranium? How'd it work out for you? Or what are some great ways that you're finding to use it? And start conversations like that with them and see, are they already sharing with people? And a lot of times they are. But anyway, your job isn't to stumble on a builder that's ready to go out of the gate like gangbusters. Your job is to nurture and cultivate really successful oilers and to notice when they have something that they want to share. Some verbiage that I have used and others have used. So for example, if someone experiences incredible respiratory relief for their little one, you could say something like, I'm so glad so-and-so shared the oils with me, because if they hadn't, I wouldn't have been able to help you. You know, you're planting seeds, right? You're not asking them to share. You're just planting seeds and helping them notice, oh gosh, someone shared this with someone who shared this with someone who shared this, and look at this amazing thing that's resulted from that. So plant seeds, and then when the time's right, you'll be able to follow up and help them help their friends. So a second thing, if you are doing that already and you feel like you're just really amazing at it and you're still getting nowhere, an exercise that we have found helpful to do is to visualize your leaders. And some of you may already done this. I don't know what my team training is separate, and so I don't know what Mary Beth is already trained on, but so if this is repeat, I apologize, but do work visualizing the leaders that you want, kind of builders you want. I don't mean, oh, I want someone who's a real go-getter. I'm talking get really, really specific. I want a woman in her 30s to 40s with a natural holistic mindset that's an influencer in her community, that people already trust. I want her to have business experience, preferably in development or marketing. I want her to have a strong need for income and a supportive spouse. You know, I mean, get really specific on what you're looking for and what you desire, and do some journaling over it. Journal over who that person is that you're looking for and what you're wanting to attract to yourself and to your business. And then when you've completed that process as thoroughly as you can, look back over it and note which of those attributes you have in yourself. Energetically, you may need to focus on becoming what you want to attract. And then you also want to have a mindset of abundance and not a mindset of poverty. And what I mean by that is don't operate out of a sensibility that there aren't enough builders, or I can't find the right builders, or I don't have enough of this, or I don't have enough of that. Operate of a mindset of there are plenty of builders in this world. There are so many people that want to share oils and want to share doTERRA and that want to build a successful business. And I'm going to find them. They're going to come to me. And really work on your mindset and work on what your mind is focused on and what you meditate on and what verbiage plays through your head over and over again. Are you constantly telling yourself, I can't find builders? Because you're never going to find them if that's what you're telling yourself. Or are you constantly telling yourself, I can find builders and builders find me? So think about that and think about the stories that you're telling yourself, and make sure you have a mindset of abundance, and that there's not scarcity in this world, and there's plenty available to you. Okay, the third thing is habits. And this is just get out there and do the hard thing, like just do the work. Finding builders is sometimes simply a numbers game. You want to make sure you're sampling people and sharing consistently. You want to make sure you're teaching and enrolling consistently. I constantly have people come to me and say, I can't find builders. And I'm thinking, well, I haven't enrolled anyone in 3 months. Or you've only enrolled 2 people in 2 months. And people who are finding builders, they're out there. They're constantly sharing. They're constantly sampling. They're enrolling. They're not necessarily high enrollers, but they're consistent enrollers. And that all by itself is going to increase the likelihood of you being able to find builders that really want to do this. So get out there and do the work, and make sure you are really being consistent with those daily success habits. And then as it relates to goals, this kind of rocked my world when someone told me this. I used to think of goals in terms of, I'm going to teach this many classes this month. I'm going to have this many one-on-ones this month. But those kinds of goals, like if me hitting a new rank is going to be done by those kinds of goals, then I'm putting the control of my goal in someone else. Because, oh man, I taught 5 classes and no one enrolled. That's why I'm not such and such rank. No, I'm not such and such rank because I taught 5 classes. I didn't reach my goal and I didn't keep going. It's my job to reach my goal. So to think about goals in terms of, I'm going to generate X amount of volume this month, or I'm going to generate X amount of volume in the next 90 days, or I'm going to get X number of people on LRP in the next 90 days, or whatever the 30, 90-day goal is. Think in terms of volume that you're actually going to generate, and then commit to like sharing and teaching and enrolling as many people as it takes to reach that goal, so that the ownership is on you and not on someone else. And that's a little bit of growing as a builder and growing as a leader, to take that kind of ownership on yourself and not be a victim. So that's just the hard work of habits and the hard work of setting authentic goals that are your responsibility and not someone else's. Okay, 4th thing is having a builder mindset. And this kind of piggybacks on that a little bit in terms of do the hard things. We want to be problem solvers, not excuse makers. And we want to attract problem solvers, not excuse makers. And so that begins with ourselves. So begin now to get a red flag in your mind when you hear your inner voice say, there's no way I can do X, Y, Z. So if your enroller or your mentor says something like, hey, I think you can hit Premier this month. You want to go for it? If your first response is there's no way, you need to get used to hearing that red flag. You ask yourself 3 really important questions. Is this real, or are these just fears and emotions showing up, or is this real? Is it true? And if it is true, and I can't hit Premier this month, when can I do it? Because it's not the sort of thing that happens by accident or casually. It's the sort of thing you set an intention to, and maybe this isn't the right month for it. Maybe your husband's traveling 3 weeks out of 4 this month, and it's just not the right time. Or maybe he's traveling 3 weeks out of 4 and it's exactly the right time. We're all different in the way that works itself out. But if you can't do it now, ask yourself, when will I do it? And develop that mindset of what you will do. And another part of this mindset work is simply believing that you're going somewhere and that you are inviting people on a journey with you. You're inviting people to participate in something with you. But it's okay if they don't want to, because you're going there anyway. And this teaches you to not see things as obstacles, but to see opportunities. And I tell people, make like water. So if there's a roadblock, just go around it. If you can't turn it into an opportunity and you can't see what the invitation is, just go around it, and you'll figure that part out later. But that mindset of I'm going somewhere, and it's not dependent on all these other people. Okay, I have successful leaders who just got really tired of waiting around for builders. Finally, they got really tired of waiting around for builders, and they just decided to get really busy enrolling people strategically in places in their organization where they needed volume. You can hit some pretty big ranks without having true builders in place. You're probably not going to hit gold without some true builders, but you could hit silver with 3 elites in 3 different places, not strung out on your front line, hoping this person's going to pop and that person's going to pop, and oh shoot, that person popped, and now there's 400 volume here and there's 300 volume there. And just get busy structuring. Like, make a plan who you're going to structure and go, and do the thing. And don't make your business so dependent on other people. Just keep moving forward. And sometimes that means having hard conversations with people. Sometimes that means asking people if they're willing to be a placeholder for you. And so that you can swap them out later when you find the right person. And if that's kind of blowing your mind right now, talk to Mary Beth about it. So there's strengths and weaknesses. There's pros and cons to this strategy. If you're just stuck, don't blame someone else. Don't let it be because you haven't found a builder. Get busy, start structuring, and figure it out. And the thing is, maybe you start structuring, and your builder pops a couple levels down. No biggie. There are almost no diamonds that have all their qualifiers on their front line. That is a very rare thing. So don't get hung up on that. Okay, the last thing I want to say, which I think I might get it in 20 minutes, Mary Beth.
You can talk as long as you want to.
So the last thing that I really had on my mind to share with you guys tonight is this idea of influence and inspiration. Asking yourself, am I inspired? And what is my inspiration? And this is another good journaling exercise. What is this thing that's bigger than you that you're doing? And I'm not talking about your monetary dream. I'm talking about your passion, that thing that's bigger than you, that drives you, the desire to help somebody, that you could weep because your kid isn't on a specific medication anymore, and that's changed your life. Or because something as simple as finally your husband doesn't snore anymore, and so you sleep. Like, that's a huge gift. It sounds so simple, but it's a big deal to have to choose between a good night of sleep or the couch. So think about what is inspiring you, and how do you give of that to others? And again, this is inviting people to participate in something with you. This isn't asking them to do a business. This isn't asking them to sell oils. This is asking them to share passionately with others something that's changed their lives, that's made a big impact. So think about, am I inspired, and how do I give of that to others? So I love this phrase. We're not trying to light a fire under someone. We're trying to light a fire in them. So leadership is inspiring others to rise up. And ultimately, if you're looking for builders, you're transitioning from being a builder to being a leader. And if you don't feel ready for that, that's okay. Most of us don't. But as you find builders, you become a leader, and your job then is to inspire others to rise up. And you're not going to be very good at that if you're not inspired yourself and you don't know what your inspiration is. So one of the ways that we can inspire builders before they even know that they're builders is just celebrating their oiling successes. Sometimes oiling can be lonely. Sometimes your spouse thinks you've lost your mind. Sometimes your friends think you're crazy. And it's a little bit lonely to be an oiler. So celebrate them and notice when they have their oiling successes. Follow up and ask them what their oiling successes are. And don't be afraid of them saying, I haven't had any, because that's an amazing opportunity for you to help them with their oiling habits so they can get the successes that we want them to have. So recognize and celebrate oiling successes, no matter how small they are. So to wrap this up, all of this, finding builders by becoming an amazing leader, you focus on being that amazing leader and builder that you want to attract. And you do that by focusing on your users and making sure they're really solid. You celebrate them, you inspire them, you recognize them, you come alongside and support them. And if you're really, really good at doing those things with your users, then your builders are going to rise up, and you're already going to be poised to be an amazing leader. And honestly, guys, helping a builder succeed is exactly the same as helping an oiler succeed. You recognize their little successes, you celebrate them, you make sure they're not lonely. You do all the same things, it's just a different subject matter. But Simon Sinek says people don't buy what we do, they buy why we do it. And that's true whether it's with the oils or with the business. So making sure you know what that inspiration is, and making sure you're focusing on inspiring that in others so that they can rise up and be either the best oiler they can be, or the best sharer, or the best builder. And it's the same skill set. So if you're waiting on your builders, get busy being an amazing leader by helping your users succeed. And that's what I have.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? I mean, I've got a couple minutes. If anyone has questions or any thoughts on anything, I have a couple minutes before I need to roll.
Yes, please. If anybody has questions, Catherine, can you see the chat bar?
I can. I've seen, let's see. I've seen mic drop, and I've seen thank you.
Okay. If anybody has any questions, please jump in and ask any questions, whether about, oh, okay, great question. Beth, we can talk about that, but how do you look up what people have ordered?
Real quick, you go to Wellness Advocate Services at the top of your back office, the little words across the top. Go to Wellness Advocate Services, drop down to genealogy, and then detailed genealogy, and then you click on their name, and you'll see wherever their PV is for the month. Like if it says they ordered 32 PV or 532 PV, just click on that and it'll pull up their order.
That's great. How often do you check people's LRP, or, just go over volume? Because you said, hey, if somebody's noticing, 400 LRP, I need to follow up. How do you make that a part of your office hours? How do you work that in?
I was fairly obsessive about it in the early days. So let me clarify that. So until I hit, probably gold, maybe somewhere in silver or gold, I was pretty obsessive. I was on my office every single day. I was noticing what people were doing. I was noticing if templates were dropping. It was just part of my daily habit was to comb through the station. I was combing through anything that contributed to a structural bonus. I was combing through anyone who I had personally enrolled. Any builders that I was working with, I was combing through their people as well, because I saw it as part of my job to help my builders not let their people's LRP fire out without them editing it. Or to, stuff like that, or if someone dropped off LRP, to follow up quickly and make sure they cashed in their points so that I could go back and hopefully recover their points if they didn't realize they were going to lose them. So that was a big part of my daily practice in the beginning, was offering amazing customer support in that way. I think once I wasn't able to track it anymore, that's when I quit, or when I knew that my builders were really doing a bang up job of that themselves. But until I knew for sure that someone else was doing it, I was doing it, and I was very thorough and very consistent with it.
That's great. Thank you. Kimberly, do you want to clarify what you're asking?
Yeah. So with the, so I know now, I don't know if it's always been there, you can track and see when their package is delivered. So how close to their delivery would you actually follow up if you saw something new, like a Cypress or something?
I'd probably give them a week or two.
Okay.
When I'm following up with the oil, so I use that as like if I see someone that's super chatty on Facebook, or that is, just bumping the volume, and I'm looking for a good reason to connect with them and see what's going on and how they're doing, I'll go back and look at a recent order and see what they ordered that's new to them, or at least I think is new to them. And I'll follow up and I'll say, hey, I noticed that you ordered such and such. How's that going for you? Or, how I haven't used it a whole lot. What are you experiencing? Whatever the thing is that I want to say. And even invite, here's another thing, is invite those people. If they're saying, oh my goodness, I just love my geranium. I put it in my moisturizer every day and my faces never look so good. Celebrate that. And then say, hey, would you be interested in sharing that on the Facebook group? I think other people would really love to hear from you. And now you're cultivating leadership in them. You're giving them an opportunity to kind of rise up a little bit. So, and I do that frequently. I'll ask them, hey, will you share that? But I guess early on, if I'm just trying to follow up in general, I'd give it a week or two. Just make sure they have a chance to use the oil. So I'm not like what's the animal that just jumps on it to a piranha? I'm not too eager. It might weird them out if I'm following up too often on their order.
And then the second question was really, I guess, your technique or approach in having people commit to the LRP.
I've got a couple of thoughts on that. One is tell people to do it. Like, our next step is to set up LRP, because it's the best way to get the most out of your membership. And if you want to cancel it later, that's fine, but let's get it set up. We'll a couple weeks and I'll tell you all about the ins and outs of it. And You can totally cancel it without processing it if you want to, but I think you'll want to keep it because that's how everyone orders. So again, mindset, it's just the thing we do, like just do it. And then the other thing is, if you're really struggling to get people on LRP and it seems to be a consistent thing, then you need to sit with yourself on all the reasons why you hate LRP, because there are some. And this might be an exercise you need to do with someone else, but you're going to write down all your objections to LRP. And then you're going to call your mentor and you're going to do some role playing where they tell you all the objections, and you tell them why LRP is the best thing in the world. And that's just mindset work. If you're trying to sell people an LRP and you're secretly thinking, gosh, these people think I'm just trying to sign them up for an auto ship to build my business, then that's all they're going to feel. But if you genuinely believe like this is the best way to budget, like your family can actually budget for their healthcare because you can spend a consistent amount every month. And it's not a constant running out to grab the Sudafed, to grab the Excedrin, to grab the Claritin. It's like, you're building a home pharmacy so that your family can stick to a budget. How awesome is that? Or you're getting free product. Like, hello, that's awesome. And earning points back, whatever it is, you need to really believe that it's in their best interest to be on LRP, because if you don't really believe that, then you're not going to be able to respect yourself. You're not going to be able to build with integrity, and you're certainly not going to be able to get on people on LRP.
That's great, Catherine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's every time I see someone consistently struggling to get people on LRP, it's almost always either an education issue where they don't understand LRP well enough to explain it, or or more likely it's a mindset. It's a belief problem.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Not sure if I should write down everything you say or fire away at questions. I'm trying to do both at the same time.
Well, you've got it recorded, so you can go back and take notes.
This is true. Anybody else have anything on their radar? Catherine, go ahead.
How, now with the transition of, at least with our team going more social online, I guess, what's your opinion of a balance in interaction with person to person versus online, and the necessity of person to person? I guess, just what's your viewpoint on that?
Yeah, someone that is like crazy successful at building with social media, Ange Peters, she's a presidential diamond in Canada. She kind of spoke to that question recently, and what she said was like, it made all kinds of sense to me. She said, if you can't build one-on-one or person-to-person, then getting on the internet and using social media is going to amplify all the reasons why you aren't succeeding. It's not going to make those reasons go away. So if you think that, gosh, I'm really struggling with this one-on-one or in person, I'm going to go on social media. That'll fix all the problems. Like, it won't. Like, it's just going to make them bigger and louder, and in some cases recorded and permanent. So, people are less likely to walk away from you in the middle of a conversation, but they'll click off your Facebook Live in a hot second. So you don't have a more captive audience by using social media. So don't use social media to replace your challenges, to replace your struggles. Go ahead and deal with those struggles and challenges, but jump into social media, use the heck out of it, share with everyone you know, and see where the fire is. Some of us are going to be amazing at live enrollments and live interactions, and we're going to stink at the online thing. And others of us are going to have this incredible magnetic vibe on social media that attracts everybody. Run with what you're good at, and don't worry too much about trying to do it the right way. Figure out what you're really, really good at, and then just do that over and over again.
Okay, thanks.
That's great. Catherine, could you speak just a minute to how you have helped your leaders like Elizabeth and I'm blanking on names right this second. I know all of them, Shauna, create a team culture for their own teams, because your your team is beyond just your team at this point. I mean, really, Carolyn has her own team, Elizabeth has her own team, and they have really different team cultures based on the people groups. So how did you help them to create that and foster that while still maintaining the integrity that you have? I mean, you still have people who do cross-line and work together and that type of thing, but there's still a lot of ownership in people's teams. So how did you help leaders foster their own team culture?
Honestly, I think I don't know that that's something I can take total credit for. I think probably the biggest way I contributed that was holding everything with an open hand. I didn't feel insecure or inadequate if someone wanted to do their that I didn't see that as a reflection on myself. I saw that as cool. It's less work I have to do. Go downline, go. So I think just having don't be insecure, don't take things personally, don't make it about yourself because it's not. So if someone wants to go and get their own user group, or someone wants to do their own thing or create their own team culture, celebrate that, encourage that, look for ways to really nurture it. And if they let you in their groups, which most of the time they will, don't steal all their content and put it in your group. I mean, they're your downline. So I think really just celebrating them and then, I have 3 people who have really killed it with creating their own team cultures. Like Carolyn, Elizabeth, and Lee. And for the most part, there's a ton of reciprocity and generosity and cross-line collaboration. And I think doTERRA has created that culture more than me.
Yeah.
It's been me trying to model that, and doTERRA doing a really good job of teaching it and modeling it as well. And our upline leaders and our diamond leaders, there's diamond Facebook groups with file sharing where if a diamond runs an incentive, they share it with the other diamonds. And if they have a PowerPoint presentation, they put it in the PowerPoint group. So, I mean, it's this amazing sharing resource that just gets modeled down the line. So I think and have that diamond mindset before you're diamond so that you're already operating that way. Again, no scarcity, it's all abundance. So we can share freely. So I think holding it all with an open hand, and then recognizing that some people are going to be really good at that and other people are going to want to be a part of your team culture, even if it's ranked. So I have a couple golds, and I have some ranked people that are not going to go and get their own team culture in their own Facebook groups anytime soon. They really like being part of Plant Living, and that's great. So I don't have a sense of trying to kick them out, and I don't have a sense of trying to hold on to them. I want people to be where they need to be.
That's great. Anybody else? Then I guess lastly, I'll just ask you to talk on convention since you've been there one more time than I have. I know tickets are still up for sale, and I think a lot of people have already gotten them, but I would love your take on what it means to go to convention.
It is a game changer. It is a really big deal to go to convention. I am not a convention junkie kind of person. I resisted events when I first started with doTERRA because all my experience with direct sales was get on this call and go to that meeting. And I was like, I don't have time for that. That's not the life I want. I really don't like loud crowds and pep rallies. I mean, get me out of the cheerleading squad. I'm never doing a Young Life skit, and I don't want to dress up for the block party. It's just not my thing. So I was pretty resistant, but what's beautiful about convention is that it's all about education and product development and personal development and growth and passion and inspiration and mission and giving back and generosity. And it's about all the things that you love about doTERRA and about the kind of helping you become more of the kind of person that you want to be anyway. And it's not a big money parade. It's not a big celebrity parade. It's not a show. It's really the heart of the company worn on its sleeve, and you get to be a first person witness to that. And it's pretty powerful to come home with the confidence of the integrity of this company and what they're really about and not what they just say they're about. So if you can get to convention, do it. Save $50 a month between now and then. Sell a few extra Home Essentials kits or Natural Solutions kits. File the money away, make it happen. Camp if you need to. There's a really great KOA campsite that's right on the tracks. I camped last year. I mean, as the month before I hit Diamond, with a really huge organization, we brought my kids and we camped, and it was awesome. And I had a whole bunch of my team out there camping, and some people had RVs and some of us had tents, and it was really fun. I dressed up in my formal and went to gala from the campground. It was great.
It's true. I saw it.
Fun. So don't let money be a reason not to go. Don't let time be a reason not to go. Like really get there. If you're serious about growing a successful doTERRA business, it's kind of a non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's great. Well, so for those of you who are going this year and are going to the gala, you will get to clap and maybe tear a little bit with me as we watch Catherine walk for Diamond. I'm so excited. And at least one of her teammates will be walking also. And maybe
I've got 5 diamonds walking.
5 walking this year. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we will all be celebrating. The gala is such a, Kirsten Riddle, who's on this call, and I'm not sure who else is on this call, we're there. She and I were there last year together, and we didn't know anybody who walked, but just to watch what people had overcome and accomplished, you just walk away with such an impartation of what's possible. And, you know, we talked often about the difference between information and impartation. And impartation is just, you know, absorbing what other people believe and know without having to even mentally think through it all. But, you know, it's like you go spend time with somebody who smells like wild oranges, and after a while you're going to start smelling like it just by the power of association. And so just the ability to associate with people who've overcome obstacles similar to yours, people who have had objections similar to yours, who've had setbacks like yours, and to see them walk through that and come on the other side. I mean, you never know what one word or one phrase will completely alter the course of your business or your family. And so I've never heard Catherine explain this, but it's kind of funny because for a convention junkie, she did just go to both leadership conferences, the one in California and the one in Florida. So her testimony is powerful because she really believes that and walks that out. So thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to celebrating you in September, and really appreciate you.
This has been a treat. I'm got a big retreat coming up this weekend, so it was good to sit down and hammer out some of these thoughts. So thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Love you. And now we all push buttons and try to figure out where we are. Okay. Well, ladies, thank you for joining in. I was so thrilled that she could share. Catherine, when I moved back to Charlotte and I said I'm doing doTERRA as a business, she just took me under her wing a little bit and let me kind of watch and see what she was doing. And because we have different uplines, you know, we really kind of mourned not being on the same team when we realized that we had signed up on separate teams, but it has really turned out to both of our benefits, and we've done a lot of things for each other's team. And so I love seeing it with you guys. I know Beth and Dana are cross-line from one another, but they are spurning one another on to greatness in a major way. And Erin, you're on the call with Jenny. I was talking to Jenny this week, and she said, let me just tell you how much I love Erin. And, you know, I love doing doTERRA because of the people that I've met. And I could just talk to her for hours. So I love the willingness that you all share to help one another grow and overcome obstacles and find creative ways to, like Catherine said, be like water. And if you can't get through it, get around it. You do that so well for one another. And it has been an honor and a privilege to work with you. So I congratulate you for making it through 6 weeks of Elite launch. I hope it has been really helpful for you. I hope you feel like now that you're done, not only do you know how to get to Elite, but you're ready to walk somebody else through the process of getting to Elite as quickly as they want to run in that direction. So I champion you. I encourage you to to be a great leader. I know that's one of the biggest things that Catherine and I talked about before this call is the when we are willing to be great leaders, that attracts builders to us. I think part of the reason I jumped in as hard as I did is because Beth Wright, who's on this call, and several others showed up at a meeting one day and said, I want to build. And I said, I don't know how to help you build, but I guess I better figure it out as fast as I can. And so because I was forced into a position of leadership, we started running and we figured it out. And so there are people coming to you who need to figure it out, and you have great tools. You have made a huge investment to not only be in this class, but to be engaged in doTERRA, to come to events, to pay the price tag, to build a stable, increasing financial pipeline, which is our goal in doTERRA. If you have been live on this call, please do honor yourself and your time, and letting me know that you've been live on every call so that you can get your free copy of a Live, Share, and Build guide and I can't think of the words. The things you put on your table for vendor fairs. And then if you've also done the homework each week, please let me know which 50 PV of oils that you would like, and they will get shipped to you or brought to a wellness event. And I think that is it. Thank you so much for joining us. If anybody has any question, please let us know, and I'll stay on for another minute or two if you do. Good night.